In this video, we're going to talk about feelings and what feelings really are. But more than that, how to change the feelings. Because feelings can be changed in 3 very simple steps. My name is Piers and I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm an NLP trainer. I train people in NLP how to communicate better and how to use this powerful technique of NLP and all the various bits and pieces within the NLP world, how to make changes in your life to make you feel better so you get more value from your life. Whether you want money, whether you want happiness, whether you want health, whichever it is, by using hypnosis and NLP, we can get you into the right place. So some of my courses I run, we specialise in certain areas of life. But mainly, we talk about feelings and how to change feelings. So what is a feeling? A feeling is something happens on the inside that wants you to change something. Often when we challenge ourselves, like we're going on a diet, and suddenly have a craving for chocolate or something sweet or something savoury. I have people who say, Piers, I've been drinking too much in lockdown, but suddenly they have a craving for another drink. And these are feelings. And what you have is your conscious mind saying, this is what I want. Your unconscious mind, which is all the programming and everything you've learned, saying, no, I need some need fulfilling inside me. So when we talk about feelings, so like the secret language that they have, when we talk about feelings, we talk about what is happening on the inside and how we can change it. So let's look at some basic feelings. Somebody may see a mouse, a spider, whatever it happens to be, and have a phobic reaction, be really, really frightened. I've seen people almost pass out with fear when they've seen a mouse. I've seen people turn into gibbering wrecks when a spider is just in the room. And the spider can be really, really small, and the people make me look quite small, and I'm 6'4". So to them, that spider, that mouse is the most frightening thing they've ever seen. And there's a chain reaction going on the inside, a phobic response, and these are feelings. When someone wants to stop drinking, because they're concentrated on, I cannot have a drink, the body comes back and says, you've got to have a drink. And it's that unconscious response is what we're after. Because as soon as I get that feeling, what is the feeling that you're after, we can then start looking at it and defuse it. Now, there are so many techniques to deal with this, and there's so many modern techniques, which I'm not going to go into on this video, that if you're a therapist or a coach, you can contact me and I can discuss with you ways that you can get further training to help you deal with people's feelings. But if you're watching this for yourself or wanting to make basic changes in people's lives, here are the 3 ways or the 3 steps into changing the results of a feeling. If you take somebody, for example, says, Piers, I have a craving for chocolate, I have a craving for something sweet. We know that they don't actually need it because it's not meal times. So we know there's something going on the inside that's creating that craving. And it's normally some thought process. They could be lonely, they could be upset, they could be scared. They could be so many different things. So I say to the people, okay, when you have that craving for that chocolate, just ask the craving what it wants. Now that sounds a really silly thing to do, to go inside and talk to yourself. But actually, this is what people do, because it's what we say to ourselves that's really important. So sometimes if we ask ourselves a question, a really interesting answer comes back. I had a lady quite recently. She said, Piers, I just constantly want to eat. I constantly want to eat. And I said, right, go inside and just ask what that part wants. What's that part of you? Because not all of you wants to eat, because a lot of you wants to lose weight, and etc., etc. So ask that part of you what it wants. And she closed her eyes and some tears came up. I said, excellent, keep breathing and let that feeling up. And she just said, I want a hug. And because of the lockdown and because of the distance and travelling difficulties that we're going through at the moment of the pandemic, she just wanted a hug from her daughter. She lives in England, her daughter lives in Canada. And I said, fine, that's a great feeling, because that means you're a lovely person, you're missing your daughter, you've obviously have a really good connection between the two of you. And she said, yeah, Piers, we talk 3 times a week, but it's not enough. And I said, okay, ask that part what other ways you can get that hug. We know you can't have a physical one. So she went inside, and I said, I was going to leave you for a few minutes. And I sat back, and I could see her eyes moving, her eyeballs moving backwards and forwards. We call it REM, rapid eye movement. And they were moving backwards and forwards. And the tears were coming through, and the tears were coming through. This doesn't always happen, by the way. But the tears are coming through. And I said, fine, you can tell me if you want, but have you come up with 2 or 3 ways that you can get the same effect as a hug? She said, yes. I said, brilliant. Are you prepared to put those into action? And she went, yes, I am. And I saw her a few days later, and she came in with a big smile. I said, how are you going? She said, Piers, I've had no chocolate, I've had no sweets, I've had no crisps, I've had no savouries, I've been really good. I've lost just under 3 pounds, 2.5 pounds, which is fantastic. And she said, I don't feel hungry anymore. I said, what happened? She said, well, I had a long chat with my daughter. And my daughter had been putting on a really brave face where she was. I was putting a really brave face, and we just talked, and we just let it all go, and we said how much we loved each other, and we reconnected. And she had a verbal hug and a visual hug rather than a physical hug. And that for her is all she needed. She needed to know that she was special to her daughter, but more than that, she wanted her daughter to know how special she was for her. And in the past, the only way they could do that was to have a physical hug. So it's changed their relationship. And in these days of this pandemic, we have to change our relationship with how we think and feel. The F word, the feeling word. So when you have a feeling, just ask the feeling what it was. So you identify the feeling. Ask it what it wants. Literally go inside and ask the feeling what it wants. And this may not be easy to start with. You may have to do this 2 or 3 times to allow yourself to step out of the way, to allow the feeling, that part of you that's feeling it, to talk. And some gibberish may come through. But if you sit with it and just breathe gently and breathe into it, it's like, I'm just going to sit here until I get an answer. Your mind goes, okay, bang, 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 bang. And this is ways we can deal with it. I come across this every day in my work where they have these feelings. Some people feel exceptionally sad. They feel anxious. They feel depressed. Again, if someone's having an anxiety attack, not a full-on anxiety, because that's very different. But if someone's feeling anxious and they've got that horrible feeling on the inside going on, I'd say, just breathe. Just go inside and ask what it wants. Another way around this is when the feeling comes up, if you're not getting a response, you just say, very, very simply, and I think I said this on my first video about affirmations. You say, fine, I feel anxious. I don't want to feel anxious. I would rather feel calm. Excellent. I'd rather feel calm at the thought of going shopping, going out. And some people at the moment get really anxious and really worried about going out in case someone around them gets too close and they catch this COVID-19. I said, fine. What's the phrase? And they go, I feel anxious about the thought of going out. And I said, fine. So I don't want to feel anxious. And I said, no, I don't. I'd rather feel calm at the thought of going out. I said, fine. Set the intention of feeling calm. In the previous video, we talked about putting the picture up and changing everything about it and making it brighter, making it more focused, making it bigger, making it further away or closer, whichever it happens to be. And you can start playing around with what we call the submodalities, the details of the picture. Some of you of my sort of age and maybe older will remember the early televisions where you have the little knobs at the top and you had to sort of move them around to get the best picture. And sometimes in life we have to do that ourselves. We have to take a step back, play around with the submodalities, change the picture and say, fine picture, what do you want? And often it's something quite simple. I'm anxious because I'm worried people are going to come too close to me. Brilliant. How can I get round that? Well, I could put a thicker mask on. Perfect. How else can I do that? I could carry a walking stick, because people tend to give people with walking sticks a slightly wider berth. I can have a bigger trolley if I go to the supermarket. Therefore, people are going to be further away rather than a little basket. And you do that sort of thing, and you start looking at ways to protect yourself when you're out. And after a bit, the anxiety goes, okay, if you put all this in place, I'm happy. Now, if you're having a full-on anxiety attack, these techniques won't work, because these are very simple, just to remove a small amount of anxiety. When I talk to clients, I say, if we're going to calibrate where you are now, 10 is, Piers, I can't take any more, and 0, it's gone. What number are you? And anything above a 5, these feelings are not really what we're talking about. Below the 5, for something quite simple like, I want to lose weight, but I feel hungry the whole time. I want to feel more confident, but I feel quite weak and timid. And if you start doing that and just identify it, what does it want? And what's another really good outcome for it? Now, there are certain techniques like Kinetic Shift and things like that where you can remove the feelings and replace them with happy feelings. And perhaps I might do an interview with the creator and some of the creators of these techniques so you can learn a little bit more about them. But for this video, what's a feeling doing? The feeling is trying to tell you something in order to get it back into balance. It needs something. Find out what it needs. Identify the feeling. Fear. What's it need? Reassurance. How can we reinsure? How can we deal with the reinsure? What's it need to feel calm and comfortable? And go inside if you don't know the answer straight away and ask it. Just close your eyes, go in and ask that part of you. If some people get really, really good at this and they ask the part to come and sit on the palm of their hand and they imagine the part's here. Say, right, what is it you need to feel calm? And they'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I've got it. Great, they put the feeling back. And they say, fine, I know that if I can do X, Y, Z, whatever it happens to be, I'll be fine. So what are feelings? Feelings are just things inside that are trying to tell us something. They have a need. Find the need and the feeling will go away. And strangely enough, the more you practice this, the better you get. It may sound silly. I have people saying, Piers, I do this 2 or 3 times a day and I'm getting really good at it. And I have other people saying, Piers, I'm finding it difficult, having done it once. And the more you practice, the better you get. But my name is Piers Day. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, hit the little notification bell. And once a week, a little bell or an email will come into your life, into your email account and tell you there's a new video. And each week I'm going to put up a technique or an interview with somebody that hopefully will make a change to your lives.